A woman with no friend. There is a woman who walks into a room and the silence follows her like an echo. She doesn't need a crowd. She doesn't seek validation. She is a force, unapologetically herself, standing tall, not because someone lifts her up, but because she has taught herself how to rise. They whisper, "She has no friends." They say it like it's a weakness. But let me tell you something. This woman, she is not weak. She is fierce. She is whole. Friendship is beautiful, but not every woman is defined by the people around her. Some are shaped by fire, by solitude, by their unwavering belief in themselves. Some women walk alone not because they can't keep up with the world, but because the world can't keep up with them. This is a woman who has fought battles without an army. She has conquered doubts without a chorus of voices cheering her on. Her success doesn't need witnesses. Her failures don't need shoulders to lean on. She has learned to wipe her own tears, fix her own crown, and move forward without asking for permission. She is not lonely. She is focused. She is driven. She is on a journey where not everyone is meant to walk beside her. And that's okay. The next time you see a woman with no friend, don't pity her, respect her. Because she is the kind of woman who turns silence into power and solitude into greatness. Solitude is often misunderstood. When people see a woman alone, they assume she is lonely, missing something, or even struggling. But what if solitude is her choice? What if, instead of feeling lost without a group, she has found herself in ways most people never do? There is an undeniable power in being alone, in walking a path where every step is decided not by the influence of others, but by the clarity of one's own mind. A woman who embraces solitude is not weak. She is strong beyond measure. From a young age, we are conditioned to believe that friendships define us, that having a circle of people around us is a sign of success, belonging, and happiness. Society teaches us that a woman should be surrounded by a support system at all times, that she should seek comfort in the presence of others, and that being alone is a sign of failure. But what if the greatest strength is found in standing alone? A woman with no friends is not necessarily unwanted or unliked. She is selective, careful, and intentional with her energy. She has learned that not everyone deserves access to her time, her thoughts, or her emotions. She has discovered that her greatest power comes from within, not from the validation of others. In solitude, she learns the art of self-reflection. She becomes intimately familiar with her own mind, understanding her desires, her fears, and her strengths without the distractions of external voices. When no one is around to influence her thoughts, she makes decisions that are truly her own. She is not swayed by opinions or pressured into conforming. She listens to herself, trusts herself, and grows stronger in her independence. This kind of self-awareness is rare. Many people drown in the noise of society, constantly seeking approval, constantly adjusting themselves to fit in. But a woman who embraces solitude finds freedom in being exactly who she is. She does not wait for someone to reassure her worth. She does not need an entourage to feel important. Her confidence does not come from compliments, likes, or invitations. It comes from knowing who she is when no one is watching. There is a rare kind of peace in this. While others fear being alone, she thrives in it. She understands that solitude is not emptiness. It is space. Space to think, to dream, to build, to create. It is in these quiet moments that she sharpens her vision, that she maps out her future without the influence of external expectations. Some people spend their entire lives avoiding solitude, filling every moment with social interactions, fearing the silence that comes when they are alone with their thoughts. But she welcomes it. She is not afraid of the quiet because she has learned that it is in the silence that she finds her greatest strength. While others depend on external motivation, she fuels herself. While others rely on social circles for identity, she carves her own. While others fear the idea of walking alone, she walks with purpose. Unshaken by the absence of company, she does not measure her worth by the number of people who surround her. She does not mistake attention for love or company for loyalty. She has seen what it means to stand on her own 2 feet, to hold herself up when no one else is there, and in doing so, she has discovered something most people never do: self-sufficiency. She is her own source of strength, her own greatest supporter, her own best friend. There is no weakness in solitude. There is no sadness in choosing to walk alone when it means walking towards something greater. A woman with no friends is not a woman to be pitied. She is a woman to be admired, because in a world that constantly tells women they need others to complete them, she has found completion within herself. There is a misconception that a woman who has no friends lacks something, that she is lonely, that she has been left behind. But the truth is, she has chosen resilience over validation. She does not measure her worth by how many people surround her or how many invitations she receives. She understands that true strength comes from within, not from the approval of others. She has realized that the world can be loud, full of opinions, full of expectations, and that if she listens too closely to what others think, she may lose sight of herself. So she has learned to rely on herself, to stand firm even when no one stands beside her. A woman with no friends is not necessarily someone who has been rejected. She is someone who has refused to conform. She has seen what happens when people live for acceptance, when they shape themselves to fit into groups, when they silence their own voices just to belong. And she refuses to be that person. She refuses to let the need for validation dictate her choices. She refuses to mold herself into something she is not just for the sake of being liked. She would rather walk alone in truth than be surrounded by people who only love a version of her that is not real. Resilience is not something that comes easily. It is built through experience, through challenges, through the realization that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend, and not every hand that reaches out to help you has good intentions. This woman has faced disappointments. She has seen people walk away. She has learned that some friendships are built on convenience, on temporary needs, on circumstances that shift like the wind, and she has learned to be okay with that. She has accepted that people come and go, but she will always have herself, and that is enough. She does not seek approval. She does not need constant reassurance that she is worthy, that she is loved, that she is doing enough. She knows. She knows because she has built herself from the ground up, not with the help of a cheering crowd, but with her own determination. When life knocks her down, she does not wait for someone to lift her back up. She rises on her own. She has seen others crumble when they are left alone, but she does not break. She bends, she adapts, she grows stronger. She is not afraid of judgment. She has been called difficult, intimidating, distant. People have mistaken her independence for arrogance, her silence for weakness. But she does not waste her energy trying to prove who she is. She does not explain herself to those who have already made up their minds. She understands that people will always have opinions, that the world will always try to place her in a box. But she refuses to be confined. She refuses to let anyone else define her. There is something powerful about a woman who does not seek validation. She moves differently. She carries herself with a quiet confidence, with a certainty that is unshaken by the opinions of others. She does not need to be liked by everyone. She does not need to be included in every circle. She does not need to be invited to every table, because she is busy building her own. She is busy creating a life that fulfills her, a life that does not depend on the acceptance of others. Some people will never understand this kind of strength. They will mistake her independence for coldness. They will wonder why she does not crave what they crave. They will think that a life without constant social validation must be a sad one. But they do not see the freedom in it. They do not see the peace that comes with knowing that she does not have to perform, that she does not have to prove herself, that she does not have to be anything other than exactly who she is. The world often tells women that they need to belong, that they need to find their place in a group, in a community, in a circle of friends who define them. Society pushes the idea that a woman's strength comes from the people she surrounds herself with, that without a tribe, she is somehow incomplete. But there are women who do not need to belong in the way the world expects. There are women who find their place not in the approval of others, but in the limitless potential of their own journey. She is a woman who walks alone, not because she has been left behind, but because she has realized the world itself is her playground, and she refuses to be confined to one small corner of it. A woman with no friends does not mean a woman without connection. She moves through life unbound, untethered by the expectations of others, and in doing so, she experiences the world world in a way that few ever do. She is not weighed down by obligations that do not serve her. She does not feel the pressure to check in, to be available, to be constantly involved in relationships that may not always add value to her life. Instead, she invests her time and energy into exploring, into learning, into embracing experiences that are uniquely hers. She is the kind of woman who can sit in a cafe alone and feel complete. She can travel to a new city with no one beside her and still feel the thrill of discovery. She does not wait for a group to validate her experiences. She creates them for herself. She does not let the absence of a familiar face keep her from stepping into the unknown. She understands that life is not about waiting for others to walk with her. It is about moving forward, even if she has to do it alone. Her confidence does not come from social reinforcement. It comes from the knowledge that she is capable, that she does not need a safety net, that she is strong enough to navigate the world on her own terms. There is a rare kind of freedom in this. While others hesitate, worrying about who will join them, who will approve, who will understand, she moves without hesitation. She embraces the unfamiliar, she welcomes the challenge, and she steps into new spaces without fear. She is not afraid to sit alone in a crowded room. She does not shrink when she enters a space where no one knows her name. She does not need to be recognized, acknowledged, or included to feel important. She knows her worth, and it does not depend on whether others see it. She understands that belonging is not about fitting in. It is about feeling at home within herself, no matter where she is. There are moments when people look at her and wonder how she does it, how she finds the courage to stand alone, how she walks through life without the constant reassurance that so many seek. They do not understand that her strength comes from experience, from the countless times she has faced the world with no one beside her and has still found a way to thrive. They do not realize that while they were busy seeking approval, she was busy building herself. She does not waste time searching for a place where she fits. She creates her own space wherever she goes. She does not wait for an invitation. She steps forward and claims what is hers. She does not feel the need to explain herself, to justify her choices, to prove why she is the way she is. She simply exists, fully and unapologetically. The world is hers because she has never limited herself to one place, one group, one way of being. She is unbound, unstoppable, and unafraid to stand alone. A woman with no friends is often seen as someone who is missing something, as if she is incomplete without constant companionship. But what most fail to realize is that she has redefined friendship in a way that suits her, in a way that nourishes her spirit rather than drains it. She does not seek connection for the sake of filling a void. She does not hold on to relationships that do not serve her. She has learned that being alone does not mean being lonely. It means choosing quality over quantity, depth over surface level interactions, and authenticity over forced belonging. She has discovered that friendship is not always found in people. Sometimes it is found in the passion that fuels her, in the work that excites her, in the dreams that keep her awake at night. Her truest companion is her ambition, and it pushes her forward in ways that friendships sometimes cannot. While others spend their energy maintaining relationships that may not always be fulfilling, she invests hers into becoming the woman she is meant to be. She does not fear solitude because she has made peace with it. She does not crave constant validation because she has built an unshakable foundation within herself. She has known what it feels like to be surrounded by people, yet feel completely alone. She has experienced the weight of friendships that were more about obligation than connection, relationships that required her to shrink herself just to be accepted. She has learned that not all friendships are meant to last, and not all people are meant to stay, so she no longer clings. She no longer forces bonds that do not naturally exist. She has found comfort in knowing that walking alone is far better than walking with people who do not truly understand her. She has redefined loyalty. She is not loyal to people who take her presence for granted or to relationships that demand she be less than who she is. She is loyal to her own growth, to her own evolution, to the journey she is on. If that journey means leaving behind people who do not align with her, she does so without hesitation. If that journey means standing alone in moments where others might crave company, she does so with grace. She does not fear losing people because she knows that the right ones will always find their way into her life, not because she needs them, but because they are meant to be there. She is selective with her energy. She does not entertain conversations that drain her or engage in friendships that feel forced. She values deep, meaningful connections, and if those are rare, she is content in waiting for them rather than surrounding herself with noise. She has learned to enjoy her own company, to find fulfillment in moments of stillness, while others constantly seek out companionship to fill silence. She has made peace with the quiet. She understands that true strength is found in being comfortable with oneself, in knowing that she is whole, whether or not she has people around her. She has turned inward for the kind of support that many seek externally. She has become her own encourager, her own confidant, her own source of motivation. She does not rely on others to remind her of her worth, to push her forward when things get tough. She has built that resilience within herself. She has seen what happens when people depend too much on external validation, when their happiness is tied to the presence or approval of others, and she has chosen a different path. Some might see her as distant, but she is simply protective of her space. Some might think she is too independent, but she has learned that self-reliance is a form of freedom. She does not need constant companionship to feel valuable. She does not measure her life by the number of people who surround her. She finds joy in her work, in her passions, in the life she is creating on her own terms. She is a woman who has learned to be her own best friend. In a world that constantly tells her she needs others to feel complete, she has discovered that she is enough. She does not wait for someone to validate her existence or to remind her of her worth. She does not seek approval from a group, nor does she adjust her personality to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. She walks through life with a quiet but unshakable confidence, knowing that she alone has the power to shape her destiny. She has spent years unlearning the idea that a woman must always be surrounded by people to be happy. Society has told her that friendships are a measure of success, that being wanted, invited, included is a sign that she is lovable. But she has realized that love does not always come from external sources, it starts within. She does not need an audience to feel significant. She does not crave applause to feel accomplished. She has found something far more powerful than validation. She has found self-acceptance. She is the kind of woman who does not hesitate to go after what she wants. She does not wait for permission, nor does she slow down to accommodate the comfort of others. She is driven, focused, relentless in her pursuit of the life she envisions. She does not waste time questioning whether people understand her path. She moves forward regardless. Some will call her selfish for prioritizing herself, for refusing to put the needs of others before her own. But she knows that self-love is not selfish. It is necessary. She knows that pouring into herself is the only way she can continue to grow. She does not apologize for who she is. She does not downplay her success to make others comfortable. She does not hide her intelligence, her ambition, her strength to fit into spaces that were never built for her. She owns every part of herself, even the parts that others may not understand. She has spent too much time in the past worrying about whether she is too much, too intense, too outspoken. She no longer shrinks herself to fit into the expectations of those who cannot handle her full presence. She is her own source of joy. She does not rely on others to entertain her, to keep her busy, to fill the silence. She has found beauty in solitude, in the quiet moments where she can reflect, create, dream without interruption. While others seek constant distractions, she has learned the art of simply being. She has learned to sit with her thoughts, to understand herself deeply, to embrace every emotion without fear. She does not run from loneliness because she does not experience it the way others do. Where they see emptiness, she sees freedom. She has built herself in a way that no one can break her. She has faced moments of doubt, moments of struggle, moments where it would have been easier to rely on someone else, but she has chosen to stand firm, to push through, to trust herself, even when the path was uncertain. She has learned that resilience is not about never falling, it is about always getting back up, and she has done so time and time again without needing a hand to pull her forward. She is unstoppable because she has made herself that way. She has stripped away the need for approval, for company, for reassurance. She has learned to love her own voice, to trust her own instincts, to embrace the woman she has become without hesitation. She does not seek friendships out of desperation. She does not hold on to people out of fear of being alone. She knows that she is complete, that she is whole, that she is more than enough exactly as she is. She is a force of nature, a woman who stands unshaken in a world that constantly tells her she needs others to define her worth. She does not measure herself by the company she keeps, nor does she seek validation in fleeting connections. She has walked through solitude and emerged stronger, wiser, and more certain of who she is. She is not lonely, she is liberated. She is not missing anything, she is whole. In a society that fears solitude, she has embraced it as her greatest power. She is not waiting to be understood, accepted, or invited. She is already complete, already unstoppable, already enough.